Hello everybody, welcome back to another Buck YouTube video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to fix your Buck the Animated Trophy. It's fairly simple, just a bit time consuming, so we're going to restart. Some of you may be at this point where he's on the wall, and so what you're going to need to do, you're just going to take the antlers off. Fairly simple. They just pull out. Kind of hold the head so it doesn't move too much, you know. So now that you got the antlers off, you're going to grab the top right corner of the plaque, bottom left corner of the plaque, kind of give them a little bit of a hug, start kind of wiggling up. Just kind of little by little. And you should come off. Not that heavy, maybe 10-15 pounds, so yeah. Okay, so you should be at this part by now, where he's off the wall. So next what you're going to want to do is you're going to take all the screws off the back of the plaque. There should be 11 or 12. I haven't really counted, just an estimate. So you're going to want to separate the screws. So keep the back of the plaque screws in one thing, and then other internals in another thing. So what you're going to want to do now, that you got all the screws off, you want to kind of grab the top, put some fingers where the speaker is. You're going to want to grab the adapter kind of holder thing. It's a little peg that holds the adapter cord. So you want to grab it and just pull out. Alright, so now it's kind of open at the bottom here, you see? So it should be like that, it's good. We're going to get a flathead screwdriver. And let me make sure the camera can see it. So now you're going to get a flathead screwdriver and go right around here, kind of pry it open here. Alright, so now you go at all those corners. So now, I just said so now so many times. You're gonna pull down just like that. See, these two pegs should just slide down, and then you right here, the speaker is gonna be stopping it. So you're just gonna pull it forward a little bit, and there you go. So next, what you're gonna do is you want to take you could either unplug the adapter cord from the circuit board, or you could just unscrew it from here. I prefer unscrewing it because trying to find it is a little bit difficult. So once you unscrew that, you should just have the plaque completely off, no cords attached, just plastic. So you want to set this aside. And now what you're going to want to do is you're going to grab a phone or camera or something and take pictures of the circuit board so you know what you're unplugging, what you're doing, and whatnot. So once you got all those pictures taken, you're going to want to start unplugging plugs that go through these holes right here. So obviously this pink and white one feeds through a hole, so you unplug that. And there's going to be this weird stuff. I can't really show it too good without it falling down, but it's like it's a glue that the company uses. A lot of companies do it for stuff like this. So yeah, once you do that, you just start unplugging stuff that goes through the holes. Okay, so if you do notice, I still got these little white bases here. Make sure those don't come off, okay? Because if they come off, you may have to solder them back on. I did accidentally with one, but it did seem fine. But if one of these white bases comes off, it should just look like this. The wires should just have like that, without the big bulky part at the bottom. So now, you might get, I have a socket wrench. You could use a regular wrench or any other tool you use to get bolts off. Now, if you don't know how to use a socket wrench, what you do is you grab the bolt, kind of fit it. See, you got separate ends that you can put on. So see, there's multiple ends that you can put on. Like this end can go here, but This is like the second biggest one. So what you're gonna do now is you're gonna kind of so now you got those bolts unbolted and the stuff from the circuit board unplugged. Now, if you haven't noticed yet, there should be a circuit board right here. Now, it's normal for you to have that, but I made the mistake of having it unplugged and it was leaning on here, and I plugged it in, and bam, that circuit board, the component blew. So you gotta make sure you don't have electricity touching electricity like that, or else your circuit board could fry. Now, luckily, it was only the microphone circuit board, not the main circuit board. But still, yeah, you just gotta be careful. So now, you're gonna want to see there's gonna be some screws here, and most likely they're gonna be stripped because just from being old. But you should at least try to see if you can unscrew those. Bigger screwdriver. So that's stripped. Let's try this one here, right below the speaker. Stripped. Let's try this one. I can fit it. Okay, so once you unbolted all the bolts and all that and unplugged all these wires that feed through the holes, there's going to be these screws. There's going to be this, here, and it will go under the circuit board. You're going to want to unscrew this screw right here on the circuit board. Let me show you. There's going to be a screw there, and possibly there. Any of the other screws that you see on the circuit board, you're gonna wanna unplug those. After you unplug those, you're gonna unscrew more screws, because they're gonna be, I think, one here, and one right there. Don't be worried if they are stripped or not coming out. That means it's old and it happens. See how I still have a bunch of mine? It's because they're stripped. So now, you're just going to want to hold the back of the neck, kind of work it a little bit, and bam. You should be good to go. So now, those plugs that you unplugged, the circuit board, see, now you're going to really see if they're still feeding through. So, see, I still got these two. These two are still plugged into the circuit board. Just unplug those. Bam. You got just the plaque. And that's it. Now, what you could do is you could plug his adapter into, right here. And since none of the stuff is plugged in, he won't start moving or nothing. And you could just have his recordings, the sound. You just have the sound playing if you don't unplug the speaker or anything. So, if you want to record his original sound or sayings or whatnot, you could do that. So now you should be at this part. You can see the inside and all that. So now, you're gonna see some of the skin is already off on the bottom here because that was when I repaired it before. Gonna want to just kind of unwrap it a little bit. Kind of roll it off. There's gonna be a black ring, but you just unscrew that, and the black ring is just there to hold the skin down. And sadly, you won't be able to get the skin all the way back on how it originally looked, but it'll still look okay. So now you keep on just kind of unrolling the skin. See, I got unrolled a little bit here. So you're just gonna keep on doing it until it's basically, I mean, you could do it right here, but I mean, might as well roll it all the way up to his ears. Okay, so once you got that rolled up just a little bit, you're gonna now flip them over, make sure there's no pressure on the ears. It's just gonna roll up easily. It's gonna kind of like wear his skin like a mask a little bit, if that makes sense. So, just like that. Now, if your little robes right here are like different, like see how mine is blue, yours may be brown and red, don't worry, it just means it's a different model. Everything's the same inside, except, you know, I have one and it has different, it's a different model, you know. Alright, so now, after you do that, you should be here. See, I got the skin, roll it there, and, so now, you just get, the right size screwdriver. See, I got this, I got this already down here, good. So you just gotta, you know, this, and you gotta make sure you don't strip any of these. Now, with my other one, I used the wrong size screwdriver, and I stripped the middle one, and it took 2 or 3 days for me to get it out, and it was a big pain. Had to get a drill, had to get more people to hold it. I think 3 people were holding it. So you gotta make sure you just have the right one. So yeah. Alright. We should be golden. Now you flip them around, there should be 2 more right here, same size screws. Just gonna do the same thing. So you should have buckle looking like this once you got all those screws out. You grab right around here and just kind of, I mean, don't yank it off, but just kind of, bottom's gonna get a little bit stuck here. Bottom's gonna give you, or at least it's giving me a problem. All bucks are different, so it may give you a problem, may not. Now with mine, the right side of the shell, it does not want to come off. So you gotta, if that's the same case as you, with both of mine, it's like that. The 2 of them. So now, you just kind of, let's go from the back now, since we got that open. There we go. And this thing, you're going to want to take off now. This, let me see if I can bring it up closer. This little blue thing, it's got a black ring. You want to pull that off that peg so it doesn't just jump up at you when you're fixing it. So you gotta just, there you go, see? And it just comes off, no more black ring there. So now, let's flip them back over since we got that part open. And now, we're in business. Got that open. So you should be seeing this now, unless you got this side open. I can't get the right part of the shell open. I can. Now he's gonna start to lean a little bit his head because the skin kind of holds it in place. But you want to see here? There's your up and down mechanism, right here. That's the up and down, and back there, right there, there's a side to side mechanism right behind that little black bar. And that black bar, it only when he goes down, it just kind of pushes it back up. That's all that's there for. So now, what you gotta do is you gotta fit the screwdriver and get this screw right there and that screw. Those 2 screws. You gotta get those off because that's what's holding the mechanism in place. And then if we flip them around, you gotta get more. There's another 2 that you gotta get off. Here's the 2 you gotta get off here, and it may look difficult to get this one off, or if one part of the shell stays on, but you should get both off. I think I just got unlucky with the both. It's glue. It's glued on there, so Jimmy kind of does it a little bit cheap. I got mine open a little bit easier because I already did it. So, but yeah. So right here, what you want to do is you're gonna want to like put a screwdriver in between there. Just kind of fit it in there, and just start twisting, and it should come out. And with this one, maybe you could come from the back, possibly, and go like that. See, I can reach it like that. If you can't get part of the shell off, but if most likely you're gonna be able to get the whole shell off. So yeah, I'll see you after I get these 2 screws off. I should warn you that right around here, it gets and inside here, it is a little bit greasy, but that's how gears, it's just to keep them kind of moving a bit, just a warning. Okay, so now you should be here. You got those 2 screws out. Now, depending on where the spindle stops, when it stops moving, you're gonna find these 2 ropes. You're gonna unscrew that right there. So just like, so you see right now I'm getting the actual spindle screw on. It's only held by 1 screw. So you get that off. Okay, so now that you got this screw off, you're going to want to make sure you know what this looks like. See how this left rope is going on the bottom, this one's going on the top. You're going to want to remember that. So now you got that, you're going to want to just kind of take these off. And if you saw in the video how it moves, this white piece spins and those 2 ropes are connected all the way up there. And it just kind of, when it spins, it pulls one rope one way, which makes it go one way, and then the other rope, it's kind of a, I don't want to say simple, but I don't want to say difficult, but yeah. So now, next, all you want to get is those 2 screws. Once you got that done, this whole thing just kind of comes out. Like I said, it's going to be greasy, so you gotta, just that you can even see there. So you got this whole thing out, and this is all you need. This is all that work. We're almost there. So now that you're here, you're going to get, there's going to Okay, so now that you're here, you just kind of grab it and wiggle it a little bit, and bam. So that's what it looks like. And this little gear right here, that little one, let me see if I can show you here. Right there. Oh wait, no, right there. That's a 10-tooth gear. Will it focus? And that's gonna be your problem. Is that little gear right there. So all you gotta do when you're here is you take this off if it's not already. It may be it might be on there still. This just comes off, and since it's going to be split, you take that little gear off and you replace it with one that's not split. Like here. This is a 10-tooth gear, and this is a split. This is the one I took out originally. That's a good gear. So I'll put that down. So all you gotta do is take it off. It should be easy to take off, but putting it on is a different story. So you gotta make sure you put pressure, or like you make sure you take this black cover off. It's just covering the rubber belts because it would be pushing down. And so once you take that off, you take it to, I don't know, like put like a wooden plank under it, and then you put like a wrench. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so what I mean by getting a wrench, you find it and you start to size it down. And once it's like so big, once it's big enough that you can only pretty much see that metal rod, you get a hammer like that, and you lightly start tapping on it to the point where that gear is down about that far. All you have to do is slide this puppy on. If I can get it on. Patch her up, and you'll pretty much be good. Okay, so now that you got the gear in there, you're going to want to test it. You don't want to put them all back together and then turn them on and he doesn't work. So let's go test him. Okay, so now I've got this plugged into where it goes, the motor. You don't even plug in the other stuff because that's just for the little sensor. So now we're going to turn them on and hope for the best.
Okay, you move them on and I'll...
No, I know he works because that 10-tooth gear, it worked when I took it out, but if it does that, you're good. Okay, if that white spindle started spinning for you, you know we're in business. So the next tricky part is actually getting it in there and getting those little cables put back on there and then screwing it back in. Okay, now what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to bring this base, just kind of put it in place a little bit. Make sure there's no wires in the way. Feed those wires through. Feed those wires through the holes here. Do like so. And kind of don't close it up all the way, just close it up enough. And I mean, you could close it all the way, but if you are gonna close it all the way, you're gonna want to bring that little that blue thing, or red, if it could be red to you, but the spring is gonna have that little thing. Remember I took that thing off this little peg here? You want to put that back on and then close it if you're gonna do that. Don't leave it open, because then it could spring up at you and cause injury, or I don't want to be responsible for that, So now, just gonna wanna, I gotta find it here. There we go. I got that black ring on. So then once you do that, it's gonna want to be pulled up. So that's when you start to put the base on. There we go. Like that. And let's do it on the opposite side. Get that closed as well. we go. So then, what you're going to want to do, since you already have it closed, you might as well find a screwdriver and get those screwed in so it doesn't just pop right back off. Okay, so now I got that bottom one in. So we flip them around now. Okay, so now I got the side to side plugged in. Now the ropes, these cables, they're not on because this spindle should be right here instead of there because one cable won't reach. So make sure it's like right here. So.
Okay, you move them on and I'll head them up.
So let's see if we can catch it in time.
Head up like up a wall.
Oh, I need a little bit more.
Like a band of gypsies, we went down the highway. Obviously, that was a mistake.
I think that's good. Maybe not. Let's hope. So now this left cable goes on here, and then the right cable goes on here, or depending on how it is already. Okay, so you see here, I got those two things on. Cables will seem a little tight on there, but don't worry, that's okay. So now we're gonna flip them around, we're gonna play him, and if his head moves, we're all good. Okay, so we got him moved. I mean, all I did was plug in the side to side and rolled the skin down a little bit. I rolled the skin down because he kind of moves a little bit uncontrollably when it's up. So we're gonna play him and hope for the best.
Okay, you move them on and I'll head them up. Get it? Head up like up a wall.
Alright. Pretty good. So, that's pretty much how you do it. That's how you fix your buck. And, let me turn down here. It will, so see, if it stops in the middle, if it stops to the side like that, he's going to start right back up again. If it stops to the side like that, it's because those other cords that come out of the side to side, those are just kind of for a little sensor to tell him where to stop and all that. So, yeah, I'm going to stop him here because I don't want to move it anymore. So now all you have to do is pretty much put them back together, and I will show you how to do that just because, you know, just for the heck of it, just in case you may be confused or you forgot what you were supposed to do. So, yeah, let's put them back together now. Alright, now you flip them over, you roll down the skin, and just get it. Alright, so after you got that gearbox in, you're gonna roll the skin up, tuck it down, roll it all the way around, and then you put that black ring on and, screw it in, and the skin's gonna be, off the plaque a little bit, but then you're gonna feed the wires through and look at your pictures and plug them in. Now, make sure they go through their original holes, because if they don't, say like you had one of the cords from here going through this hole and then coming out, well, that's kind of what happens, and hopefully it still works, and that's a mistake I made before, so just make sure, make sure it just feeds through the hole that the whatever side's on. Next, you're gonna bolt in these 4 bolts. Then you're gonna screw in the adapter. If you unscrewed it, you could have unplugged it from there, but like I said, I prefer doing it, unscrewing it. Okay, so now you got the back of the plaque on. You could put his antlers in if you wanted to. I got them in. And you test him.
Okay, you move them on and I'll head them up. Get it? Head up like up a wall. Move 'em on, head 'em up, move 'em on, head 'em up, raw high.